Welcome to Go See the Sky, only on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Vanessa Ybarra. On today's show, we're talking about one of life's greatest pleasures, eating. We're here in Whistler talking to organizers on this month's Indulge in Whistler event, offering awesome deals on food, spa packages, and more. Speaking of eating, along with being a great leisure activity, it's also a great way to refuel both before and after a race. On today's show, we'll tell you about some upcoming races taking part along the See the Sky corridor, guaranteed to rev up your appetite. It's all here, and it's all local on Go See the Sky. I'm here with Kirsten in front of BG Urban Grill, one of the restaurants taking part in this year's Indulge in Whistler. First of all, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, busy time, I know, this time of year. But let's talk about this month-long event, Indulge in Whistler. What exactly is this all about?
Sure, absolutely. It's one of my favorite times of year. So the Indulge in Whistler program was designed to create a little bit of business and interaction with the business community here in the spring shoulder season. And what we've done is the restaurants and the spas and the golf courses have come together to offer really great value to our visitors and our locals.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on. Golf packages, also spa packages. But let's talk about the best part, the eating here in Whistler. How does that work when it comes to the actual cuisine and packages people can get?
Sure, so the restaurants are featuring multi-course menus, so 2, 3, 4-course menus, all at a really great price. So you can find multi-course menus as low as $18 up to $49 for some of our world-class fine dining restaurants.
Yeah, amazing. And the actual need, though, this has been going for about 5 years or so, you were saying. It's the second year it's changed from Dine Out Whistler?
Dine in Whistler.
Dine in
it
Whistler,
was for several years.
Yeah, to Indulge in Whistler. Why the need for this, though? How much do you see just that attendance really plummet here in Whistler come May?
Yeah, well, the shoulder season, like I said, May has been known to be a quieter time of year as we transition from winter through to summer. But it's also a very exciting time. The days are longer. There's lots to do here in town. The locals kind of refer to multi-sport days, so it's a great time. You can still ski and snowboard on the mountain. The bike park is now open, and all the trails in the valley are open. Like I mentioned, the golf courses are now open to enjoy. So really, it's all about trying to get in as many sports as you can in one day through the month of May, and then spoiling yourself at one of our amazing restaurants.
Yeah, a nice cocktail to end the day.
Exactly.
And talk about the people you're trying to attract. Is it just that you want more locals maybe just to come back into the village, get out of their condos or where they're living, or is it tourists you're trying to attract, or both?
Yeah, I mean a bit of both for sure, but as Tourism Whistler, we are focused on that tourist, making sure that they're coming up to enjoy everything that Whistler has to offer. I mean, it's a great treat for our local Vancouver audience who will come see us several times a year. So trying to get them to come up during the May season as well and enjoy these restaurants and great deals that we have to offer.
For sure. We'll talk more about those deals coming up in the show. Also, as we mentioned, golf and massage packages you can take part in. But throwing to our first story of the day here on Go See the Sky, let's head on up to Whistler, where two organizers are hoping the city's first race taking part in June will help bring awareness to this jogger's paradise. Let's go. Running buddies Christine and Mark, nothing beats hitting Pemberton's mountain trails.
I find that with trail running, I can focus more on what's around me. I don't think about other things.
Just listening to your heartbeat, and every step is like a chess game where you're trying to place your feet, and so you can't fall asleep.
With surrounding trails ranging from high alpine to flatlined lower valley terrain, this area remains one of the best for running in BC. Yet, unlike the North Shore, Squamish, and Whistler, Pemberton's never held a running race. That is until Mark and Christine stepped in.
We've always been throwing the idea around of doing a race. And then one day we went out for a trail run together, and it was really just, why don't we?
The minute I got back, all soaking wet because it was snowing out, and just, right there on the kitchen counter, just drew it. Said, I think this is going to be our race.
With that, the Barn Burner Triple Run was born. The June 20th event set to feature a kids race along with 10, 15, or 25 kilometers of technical terrain for runners to choose from.
So we just kind of mapped out what we thought was a good loop. So this is the Fat Tug area here, and then head over into the creek side, and then back up for the final and the longest loop, which is around 1 Mile Lake.
However, unlike similar races in other communities, these loops come with a little twist.
So if we have the runners coming in from here,
Yeah.
do you want to have them turn here
I
for
think
the aid station?
right here and out. And our
Looking for a way to get greater use out of the recently built Pemberton Community Barn, each run will start and finish at the iconic downtown landmark in what's set to be a fun party atmosphere.
We're going to have a beer garden. We're hoping to have some food vendors come and join us for the day so that people can really just hang out here for the day, cheer on the runners.
The two holding local running clinics, as well ramping up online interest to attract runners from as far as the Lower Mainland to the event in what's hoped to be one of many.
Races like this, if they're successful their first year, they tend to grow and grow. So I'm hoping that we'll be on that curve.
We're getting registrations every day. It's coming together quite nicely. I think that's really what makes it unique. Being way out in the wilderness here where it's quiet and all of a sudden you're right into the hustle bustle of downtown and then back out again. So we're kind of bringing the run to the village.
To sign up for this year's race, visit barnburnertriple.com. To learn more about Pemberton's first upcoming race, you can also visit them on Twitter at PembyBB3. Okay, as we mentioned, one of the best ways to get prepared for a race, of course, is eating. Kirsten, let's talk about the actual cuisine being offered for Indulge and Whistler. Maybe starting with the one behind us, Urban Grill here.
Yeah, BG Urban Grill is participating in Indulge and Whistler, and they have outstanding value, a multi-course menu for only $18. So a great deal there.
Amazing. And what's great about this, just can you kind of explain to us the plethora of restaurants taking part, from cafes?
Sure. I mean, Whistler Village has so much to offer. I mean, there's cafes, lounges, there's pubs participating. We've also got the fine dining restaurants, all sorts of cuisine. We've got a delicious Indian restaurant in town, Tandoori Grill, who is a part of the program. 2 delicious sushi restaurants. I was at Nagomi Grill last night.
Trying out for the job?
Absolutely, yeah. So delicious.
So delicious, yeah. And talk about that. It recently opened last year, Mexican Corner, you're saying. They
Yes.
also have a great deal as part of Mesa Mexican food. You want to grab? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm very anxious to get over to the Mexican Corner. They have a 3-course for $21. So they were new on the food scene in Whistler over the last couple years and quickly became a favorite. Stone's Edge is another new favorite in town. They opened last year and they have a fantastic patio. So a great one to check out if you haven't tried that.
Yeah, and let's talk about just the actual plethora of different cuisine you offer here in Whistler. How much has that expanded, say, in the last 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, we continue to grow year after year, and there's always new players on the scene. A couple of new establishments are coming this summer too, which will be exciting.
Yeah, so I'm just talking about that though. Why the need though to keep up the cuisine? Are you finding there's a lot of demand in Whistler for the Indian, Mexican food? Is that really kind of expanding?
Yeah, I mean, visitors continue to grow to Whistler, which is incredible, and it's always nice to offer a really diverse service and product for our visitors. So, I mean, a ton of world-class restaurants here to offer.
We sure do. Okay,
Yeah.
more with Kirsten coming up after the break. Let's throw it to our second story of the day here on Go See the Sky. While we've come a long way, the reality is racial discrimination still exists. In this next story, we find out what a group of students is doing to help break stereotypes.
It's our badge of honor for the day.
A badge of honor that, like most, takes courage to wear. These Howe Sound secondary students preparing to go in front of their entire school to share on what it means to be Aboriginal today. Their message?
We are just like normal people, like equal people.
There's like a lot of different people that are Aboriginal that don't necessarily look like they are, so just kind of getting like the real image out there.
Here you go, sweet pea.
That cause, spearheaded by Susan Leslie, the Aboriginal educator, the main organizer of this year's 24-hour drum, where 60 students, including these Squamish teens, spend the entire day traveling the Sea to Sky corridor, spreading awareness. With this year's event, the most bold yet.
Instead of sharing cultural activities, I thought it would be interesting to hear from the students. What is it that the students have to say?
Shedding light on today's Aboriginal people, as well continued cries for Canada's missing and murdered Aboriginal women, the most common and passionate topics among this year's students. However, being able to voice those concerns proved a challenge in itself.
I know you might be nervous, but you have no choice. We're gonna teach you today to use your voice.
The group students taking part in a slam poetry workshop to prepare for the event.
How would it be if residential schools were still here today?
Together we laugh, together we cry. We have a voice. Now let us be heard.
Fast forward a few months and it's finally time for the big day.
Racism happens every day. You'll never be smart. You're an Indian.
Drugs and alcohol are now their ways to drown their pain. How can you expect them to gain with all this pain?
Aboriginal women make up 4.3% of Canada's population, yet they also make up 11.3% of missing women.
Along with reading poems, the group also produced a video turning the table on stereotypes.
Do you prefer to be called white, Caucasian, or Euro-Canadian? Doesn't matter.
I think there's a lot of people who are just misinformed or uninformed. Some people think that all, say, Native people, that they all like wear feathers and they all dance around and stuff, is kind of showing like kind of how ridiculous some of those things can be.
Tell us why nobody's listening.
It is easy to turn away.
These teens' once dismal voice now beaming loud and clear.
If we don't come together, we won't be able to stop it. We need to become one voice. If we don't, there'll be an endless circle of abomination. Thank you.
Awareness brings a heightened consciousness. I've seen students who found it difficult to speak and were very shy and quiet at the beginning of this process. And I found them stand up and find their voice.
With this audience standing behind them. With one performance down, 5 to go, the team quickly heads to the bus. Their hope that with every kilometer, change is that much closer.
I'd like eventually just to become equals in this world, for them to be treated the exact same as everybody else.
These students are change makers. What courage to get up on a stage and speak from your heart in front of your entire peer population. That's the story of today.
Its lines are the longest in Canada. Its speeds topping 100 kilometers an hour. This is Superfly zip lines, something I'm about to try today.
Hi. Good morning.
How are you?
Good, thanks. You here to do the Superfly?
I am.
All
You're doing
right.
zip line.
This adventure is starting off an intimidating one, my only ziplining experience in Costa Rica 12 years ago. However, with Superfly operations 3 years injury-free, I willfully signed my name. Next, it's onto the scale.
So if you could just bring your waiver over there, I just need to weigh you.
Awesome.
Ensuring I meet the 60 to 250 pound weight requirement. And with that, our adrenaline adventure begins. As the only year-round outdoor operation in Whistler, Superfly Ziplines is, well, super busy, busing around 250 thrill seekers such as myself daily to its base during summer peak season, close to 100 in the winter months. With excitement and nerves continuing to build, I arrive at Cougar Mountain ready to meet my guide.
Great, thanks, Dean.
You're welcome. Have a good time.
Ah, hey, you must be Vanessa.
Yeah.
Steve-o.
Steve-o, nice
How's
to
it
meet
going?
you.
Welcome to Superfly Ziplines.
Thank you so much.
Cool, so this is the rest of your crew. You look like you're pretty much ready to rock and roll, so we'll just head on over to our harnessing deck and we'll get you ready to go Superfly.
Awesome, sounds
Perfect.
good.
Strapping on a custom-designed helmet and heavy-duty harness, this unique experience begins with its equipment.
A lot of other zipline companies would use a climbing harness, which can be a little bit uncomfortable, you know, it cuts into you. So yeah, they're just really comfortable. You can sit back and relax and recline in them. So this is our little demonstration line here. So we've got the trolley on the line. Next we're going to get you clipped in.
Unlike traditional zip lines constructed among tree lines, Superfly systems are embedded in the mountains themselves, allowing riders to soar that much higher and faster. With each line speeds jumping from 0 to 70 kilometers an hour in under 30 seconds, its shock-loaded brake systems make for a smooth but sudden stop.
So you do come in with quite a bit of speed. So what we like you to do is adopt this position with your legs up and your arms out straight holding the bar. So you're coming in like so.
Geared and safetied up, it's time to fly. Our first stop, Z1. Reaching a peak of 640 feet off the ground, it's earned the reputation as Canada's highest zip line.
I think you'll be blown away. It's a great feeling. You're whizzing through the air, you've got the beautiful views out there. So it's a pretty incredible experience.
Only one way to find out.
Ready, ready?
All right.
Here we go.
I love you, Mom.
Soaring between Rainbow and Cougar Mountain, wind ripping through my hair, the ride is as breathtaking as its creek and valley below. Each spin a new beauty to discover.
How was your ride? Amazing. It was so smooth.
Our initial fears now behind us, it's on to Z2. Spanning almost 1.3 kilometers, this too has earned the title of longest zipline in Canada. Each second of the minute-and-a-half soar towards Wedge Mountain, a marvel in itself.
You're going for such a long time, you really get to experience the full thing. Sometimes with other things, they go so quickly, you don't actually get to really think about it.
You don't get any of that feeling in your stomach when you're on a roller coaster. It's nothing like bungee jumping. You're kind of there and in the moment.
It's a really freeing feeling. It's a way to feel like a bird, see the beautiful sights. It's amazing.
That's the really cool thing about out here. We get a lot of people who are coming up from Vancouver and the city and stuff like that, so we're kind of taking them outside of their comfort zone. Enjoy your ride!
Just the amount of acceleration that you get off of it is just phenomenal. It's like nothing else.
As we completed our fourth and final zipline of the day back to home base, it was all smiles for this crew. With flyers flocking from all across the world to try out these lines, for Steve-O and his group, it's about helping timid travelers overcome fear, all the while showcasing the best Whistler has to offer.
How was it?
It was amazing. So
nice.
great.
Okay, you can let go and step down.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much, Steve-O.
No problem. Nice one.
Best way to see Whistler, guys. After the break.
Yeah, we don't want to come into the event cold. We want to be as adaptive as we can.
How one team plans to win this year's Great Snow Earth Water Race. Welcome back to Go See the Sky, only on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Vanessa Ybarra, here in Whistler, joined by Kirsten, talking about Indulge in Whistler, the month-long event taking place all of May. We're going to get special treats and packages for food, but also we're going to talk about right now spa packages. Tell us, Kirsten, about those. I know there's 5 different ones you're mentioning taking part.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 spas participating to treat yourself throughout the entire month of May. One of my favorite places in town is Scandinav Spa. So they offer an incredible Scandinavian bath experience. You can go to the beautiful facility, spend as long as you want there. I like to spend the entire afternoon. There is saunas, steam rooms, plunge pools, and it's the goal is to not squeal really loudly when you jump into the cold plunge pool after the hot.
Good for the pores, yeah. And talk about that. So how does it work though? Do people book a package just that with their meal plus you get the spa? Do they buy them separately?
You can if you want to, or you can do it independently. Scandinav, for instance, is offering bath access for $40. So a considerable reduction off the regular price. And other spas are offering bonus treatments. So if you book any service, you could get a 30-minute add-on service to the regular product that you're booking, and a few others just offering discounts as well. So if you just want to treat yourself at a spa, you can do that. But there's also a great package being offered. Scandinavian Spa has partnered with Nicholas North Golf Course, and you can golf at Nicholas North Golf Course, do a round of golf there, then enjoy the baths at Scandinavian Spa, and then enjoy a 4-course meal at Table 19 at Nicholas North. And that all together is only $139 per person.
My goodness, you're never gonna get a deal like that again in Whistler.
No, it's
other
incredible.
times of the year. And just talk about golf. Maybe someone like me has only golfed a few times. What are the different types of offers you offer though at the 3 golf courses here in Whistler besides maybe just the traditional 18 rounds?
Well, we have 3 different courses, which is great. So lots of diverse product to enjoy. There's the Whistler Golf Club, as I mentioned. We've got Nicholas North Golf Course, as well as the Fairmont Chateau Golf Course. So challenge yourself and take in all 3. All courses offer incredible lesson products, great instructors, so if you need a lesson.
Of course, at the end of the show, we'll throw up a link where you can go to sign up for all of this year's packages. But let's throw to our next story of the day here on Go See the Sky. Along with Indulge in Whistler, another great event here in town is a Great Snow Earth Water Race. An event, according to one team, is as fun as it is fierce. While taking a break from the office to go canoeing usually makes for fun, leisurely activity for George and his friend Rebecca, today's sail down Alta Creek is all business, preparing for Whistler's Great Snow Earth Water Race taking place May 17th.
Yeah, we don't want to come into the event cold and at least be startled by situations that have changed in the river. So we want to be as adaptive as we can.
And adaptive they'll need to be. Started in 1975, the 6-legged race is one of the city's most original and iconic events, with teams of 7 splitting a 30-kilometer trek skiing, running, canoeing, and biking from the top of Whistler Mountain to the valley bottom below. With over 100 teams taking part during its peak in the 90s, the race took a long hiatus for organizers to replan, officially returning as part of Whistler's Great Outdoors Fest last year.
People remember and they talk about, and it's part of the history of this area. And so when they were looking at bringing back festivals and trying to put together a festival, they thought, hey, let's bring that back.
With top prize ranging around $2,000 for team captain George, picking a strong, skilled team was pivotal.
I do have quite a few friends that have many skills. All the participants are from the area, so we do know the lay of the land quite well.
Reaching out to his friend and coworker, Free Spirit.
I was in 100% right away.
Growing up competing among the extreme skiing circuit, if there's anyone to give you a strong start, it's Free. His innate abilities especially crucial with May weather conditions anyone's guess.
I have a selection of skis I may use, including some old downhills and some powder skis just in case it really snows the night before. I like the combination of all the sports that are involved. It really keeps it interesting for spectators as well as the people competing, and the fact that it's actually a team event, which you don't see every day.
Herds of canoers crashing and struggling to stay afloat along the River of Golden Dreams, another one of those sights you don't see every day. The race's canoeing portion remaining the most comedic, with Rebecca making the perfect sidekick.
She knows how to paddle. That was a key point, and not afraid of a challenge.
And not afraid of water.
And well, yeah, not afraid of water. That's always important.
And finally, the most pivotal portion of the event, cross-country biking. Having competed in numerous Whistler races, it was only obvious coworker and friend Andrew Gunn would carry the team across the finish line.
This is the first team race, I would say, yeah. And this one, you know, you're relying on everybody's part to win and have fun.
The avid outdoorsman practicing the way he knows best.
Just lots of riding bikes.
With close to 25 teams from Whistler, as well the interior and Vancouver Island expected to take part in this year's epic event, while fierce, at the end of the day, it's all about having fun.
It's seeing the whole valley in a day and really just celebrating what we do in Whistler. Get outside.
It is a fun city to be in, so might as well get to enjoy some activities that bring people out and you get to have fun doing it.
To sign your team up for this year's May 17th event, be sure to visit greatoutdoorsfest.com. Okay, well, a great way to spend the night after spending the whole outdoors, enjoying patios and everything, of course, Kirsten, is spending a nice night in a hotel.
Of course.
I know you offer some great packages as well for that. Tell us about it.
Yeah, again, being May, a little bit in the off season, not quite as busy here in town. So the hotels offer some really outstanding rates. So in addition to all the great value from Indulge in Whistler through the restaurants, the spas, and the golf courses, you can get some really great accommodation rates at our hotels too.
Amazing. Good way to end the evening, like we said. And so you also have a contest going on, I know, on Instagram as part of Indulge in Whistler. Kind of fun. Tell us how that works.
Sure. Well, I know lots of you foodies out there like to take pictures of your
don't
food
do that.
and post it on Instagram. So when you're enjoying the Indulge in Whistler menus, make sure that you snap a photo, post it to Instagram, and tag it with hashtag Indulge in Whistler. And you can win great gift certificates for some of the restaurants in town.
Yeah, tell us about just the variety. I looked online. I think there's about 20 different prizes.
Yeah, 22 different restaurants participating, and then we've got over 20 prizes for the hashtag Indulge in Whistler Instagram contest.
Okay, so another reason to take pictures of food.
Yes.
All right, well, let's start to our last story of the day here on Go See the Sky. As we know, the West Coast has a plethora of artists. In fact, almost every BC city has more artists than the national average. As we find out this next story, one West Vancouver home has 3 artists under one roof.
Tiny brushstrokes on one canvas, smeared color on the next. In the basement of their West Vancouver home, Lisa Wolfenway-Reinen and her 2 daughters, Tasha and Skyla, unleashed their creativity.
I want to do this color first and then another red on, like the spray paint red on top.
Paint is their medium today, but this family is known for dabbling with many materials, which makes it hard for these modest artists to describe their art style.
Well, it's, I don't know.
But it's a different story when it comes to asking about each other's work.
When I was younger, hers were very detailed, very just perfect. When she did portraits, it looked exactly like the person, and scenery looked exactly like scenery.
You did great proportion on that. She's evolving also, trying many different things. I see that she's drawn to painting people and trying different abstract ways of doing it.
She's really interested in spray painting right now. She's great with flowers as well. She's always liked to doodle flowers.
This one is cool, put that one up there.
Lisa has raised her daughters to appreciate all forms of art. What started as a family hobby grew into a side job for Lisa, curating art at Hollyburn Country Club in West Van.
People ask me all the time, being a curator at Hollyburn, can you help me find art? Because I've been to a few galleries, and where do I find more?
So over the last 2 years, Lisa's been creating a space for more art. It's called Art Vancouver, a 4-day international art fair in its inaugural year.
Artists and galleries are coming from all over the world to Vancouver to show their art, and many people are also coming from other places to Vancouver to see their art.
120 artists and galleries are taking part in this event.
They're coming from Italy, the Ukraine, Singapore, Brazil, the US.
But there will also be a number of local artists, including Lisa, Skyla, and Tasha.
Vancouver is really artistic, and we live in a beautiful city where the nature is, everyone wants to come see it, so we should have an art show.
Art Vancouver will be the first international art fair in the city. This family of crafters hopes it will put the Lower Mainland on the world stage as a well-known arts destination.
This year's Art Vancouver takes place May 21st until 24th. To learn more about the event, you can visit them online at artvancouver.net. Okay, Kirsten, I think we've gone through everything there is for Indulge in Whistler. Now, of course, most important part, signing up. Where can people go to do that?
Absolutely. All of the information is found online at whistler.com/indulge. So on there you can find all the pricing, all the deals, as well as the menus for the restaurants.
Should be a busy year once again for you guys. And that being said, just that being busy, how soon in advance, or should people prepare maybe a week ahead of time if they want to do the spa? How's that go about?
Some of the restaurants will get busy, so it's always a good idea to make a reservation ahead of time. But you don't need to, so just get on up to Whistler and enjoy all that Indulge in Whistler has to offer this month.
I'm sure many will. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's it for our show here on Go See the Sky. Be sure to reach out to us. Let us know what stories you want us to cover, be it food, people, places, events. You can also find us online on Facebook and on Twitter at Go See the Sky. And as always, you can view all of our stories on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Whistler Shaw. Until next time, happy eating.